My teacher said I would never be able to learn because of the way my hands are because of my disability. Well, I proved her wrong, as I've done with many people all my life. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the latest installment of the Nick Speaks podcast, the podcast dedicated to giving the disabled community a voice where we speak up, speak out, and speak loud. I'm your host, Nicholas Comstock. You guys, in the few episodes that we've done of the Nick Speaks podcast so far, I've mentioned often about getting to know someone outside of their disability because I've said we are so much more. Disabled person is so much more than their disability. And in today's episode, I'm going to give you an opportunity to get to know me outside of cerebral palsy, outside of my wheelchair. I'm going to give you the opportunity to get to know me, your podcast host, Nicholas Comstock, a little bit better. And I'm going to just share my heart with you on some things and share things that I like, things that I love, things that irritate me. And of course, this is a podcast all about disability. So we can't leave disabilities on the table completely. But today, I want to go in depth with you and give you the opportunity to get to know me a little bit better. So, my name is Nicholas Comstock, as you guys know, and I started this podcast back in August. But before all that, I did YouTube for about 7 years. I've been on YouTube and I was there consistently for a while, and that just didn't take off. And so then a little known thing called TikTok came along, and I had one of my best friends, Daniel Rivera, who's a friend of the show, who's been on the show. In fact, episode 3 is his episode, so if you haven't went back and listened to Daniel's episode, I encourage you to do so. But back at the end of 2021, maybe before that, Daniel was really encouraging me to get on TikTok. So that's how I got on TikTok. And I just said, one day I just said, you know what, I'm going to do it and we'll see what happens. And 67,000 followers later, now I have moved on to podcast. But if you're not following me on TikTok, you can do so at Nicholas Comstock on TikTok. Now, I want to tell you what Nicholas Comstock likes to watch on TV. And I hope that there's a lot of you out there who like the same shows I do. Maybe you can turn me on to some other shows and we'll go from there and see what happens. First of all, you should know that I don't watch a lot of TV. In fact, I would rather be on TV than watch TV. And for the first time in a while, last night, I actually fell asleep with the TV on. I was watching something about the biggest buffet in the world on Amazon Prime. And as you can hear, I have a cold. And so I was trying to get to sleep and watch something, you know, interesting at the same time. So I fell asleep to the biggest buffet in the world on Amazon Prime. To be honest with you, it wasn't very interesting, although I'm a huge foodie. It just wasn't very interesting to me. I know they said that they feed 3,000 people a day or something like that. If you come from a big family like mine, you might feel like you feed 3,000 people a day already, especially if you're dealing with boys. So, yeah, I don't watch a lot of TV, but the TV shows that I watch are Judge Judy. Of course, Judge Judy, the original Judge Judy, ended in 2021, and so she moved over to Amazon Prime's Freebie and created a new show called Judy Justice because CBS got stupid and said, we're not going to pay you anymore because we don't think you're worth what you're asking, which is what they basically said to her. And, sadly, they're doing that with the show Blue Bloods. Blue Bloods is another one of my favorite shows. I love Donnie Wahlberg. I love the whole cast. I love Bridget Moynihan, everybody. Will Estes, Vanessa, whoever would have thought that Jamie Reagan, aka Will Estes, would have ended up with somebody as hot as Vanessa as his wife on the show. And I just love that because Jamie, in the first episode of Blue Bloods, Jamie was engaged to be married or had a girlfriend. And then after that first episode, you never saw her again. And then a few years later, his awesome partner on the show, Vanessa, plays Eddie. Um, Came on the show and they got married in season 10 and all that type of stuff. But yeah, I'm really upset that they are ending Blue Bloods after 14 or 15 years, something like that. It's just really sad. I thought TV shows were directed by the people of what shows went and what shows didn't. Apparently, it's not. It has to do with money, I guess, too. But even the cast is upset about the ending of Blue Bloods. And so I'm hoping that between now and May of 2025, um, CBS will come to its senses and put Blue Bloods on until they're ready, until the cast of Blue Bloods is ready to say goodbye. So, yeah, I love Blue Bloods. I love Judge Judy. I'm a huge foodie, like I said, and I love fast food. Taco Bell is my favorite fast food restaurant. Taco Bell. If you want to sponsor Nick Speaks, I would love you forever. My favorite items at Taco Bell is pretty much everything, although I did not like the Cantino bowls when they came out. So everything except the Cantino bowls, I like. Um, I also like Steak and Shake. I had Steak and Shake earlier. I pre-record this podcast, so I'm actually talking to you guys on Saturday evening. I had Steak and Shake earlier, and I love Steak and Shake. There's two things I love there at Steak and Shake. I love their double garlic burger, which is amazing. They have like a garlic aioli and it's all greasy and it goes right through you, and at least it does me. My staff hate it. But they have a garlic aioli and it's really good. And then what I had today was a double barbecue bacon burger, which was awesome. And then I had their shoestring fries, which I don't really like unless I get a side of cheese sauce with it. And they used to sell cheese fries, but now you just have to ask for the cheese sauce on the side. Sorry for the coughing, guys. I've had this cold for a few days now, and it really, really sucks. But I wanted to get a podcast episode to you. So I'm a fast food junkie. I love Mexican food. Mexican food is my favorite food in all the world to eat. Um, I am a fan of audiobooks, but they have to be narrated by the perfect person that'll keep my attention and that'll keep me interested because if not, I'm going to turn off the audiobook. My favorite book that I ever listened to was called One Perfect Lie by Lisa Scottolini. And I don't remember the narrator, but I do remember that it was a male, and I do remember that he kept me captivated through every twist and turn. So if you're into audiobooks, listen to the One Perfect Lie by Lisa Scottolini. You will not be sorry. This leads into the next thing I'm going to tell you. I'm a huge true crime junkie. Now, I used to watch a lot of true crime. I had to stop doing it because I would literally have nightmares before when I would go to bed. So I love true crime. I love everything about it, but I'm a big scaredy cat, so I had to stop watching it. But I love it, and if something piques my interest, I will watch it. Um, Within the last couple of years, I've learned to watch and see what goes on in the world. So I do get a dose of news every now and then. My favorite news anchor in the world, and this person has been my favorite news anchor since she did her time at Fox News, and I think you know who I'm talking about, Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly, if you ever listen to this podcast, I have the biggest crush on you. I think you're so gorgeous. And yes, I know you're in your 50s, and I'm 34, going to be 35 in March, but I don't care. You are so gorgeous. And you are really an outstanding reporter. Good looks aside, you really are an outstanding reporter. And I love watching your show every day. I mostly watch your monologues though. I don't really watch the whole program unless it's like with a comedian that you've had on. You've had a couple comedians on, Megan, that I really enjoy. Of course, I can't think of their names right now because my brains are so stuffed up because of this cold. But you've had a couple comedians on that I've really enjoyed. I did watch your whole interview with Roseanne Barr. I thought she was fantastic. And what they did to her at ABC was so wrong. And, people have done 10 times worse than Roseanne Barr ever did in that tweet, and they still have a job. But, I won't get into that. But anyway, Megyn Kelly, I love you. Something else that you guys don't know about me is that I play the piano. I play with one hand. Really, I play with one finger, to be honest with you. But I taught myself to play. I had a teacher in school that told me that I would never be able to play the piano because of my hands. And my school was starting up a brand new music program and they had a piano lab. And I've always loved the piano since I was a kid. So I wanted to try out for it. Well, my teacher said I would never be able to learn because of the way my hands are because of my disability. Well, I proved her wrong, as I've done with many people all my life. And I went home that night. I remember it was a Friday that my teacher told me I would never be able to play the piano. And I taught myself my very first song on my mom's keyboard. We didn't have computers back then. They weren't as popular. I mean, we did. I grew up in the 90s, but we didn't. Computers weren't that great back then. Uh, but anyway, I taught myself. I went home the day that my teacher told me that I would never be able to play the piano. I got my mom's keyboard. I used to play on it for hours, and I taught myself my very first song, which was "God is so good." And if you grew up in church at all, you know that little song. I'm not going to sing it for you because I have a cold, and even if I didn't have a cold, I wouldn't sing it for you anyway because I have a terrible singing voice. But anyway, so I am a self-taught pianist. So you say, Nick, how did you do that? Well, I just listened to what was being played at church. And, like all piano teachers teach, if you can find middle C, once you find middle C on a piano, you're good. Well, I found middle C before I even had a piano teacher, and I taught myself how to play. So I played the piano. I love music. I'm always in here listening to music with my staff every day. Uh, if I don't play music, they ask me if I'm unhappy because I don't have music playing. So I always try to have music playing. What do I like to listen to as far as music? I love Reba McEntire. Reba, I love you, girl. I'm not able to watch your new sitcom because I don't have the streaming service. I was able to see the first episode, but I haven't been able to watch it since because I don't have Peacock as a streaming service, and I don't have cable TV because I don't watch a lot of TV. I stream everything, but I don't have Peacock. So sorry. But Reba McEntire, I love your music. And my favorite song is There's No You in Oklahoma, and that's okay with me. It's on one of your latest country albums, and I love that. Oh, and another favorite Reba song is Love Revival. We Need a Love Revival, which is on another one of her latest country albums. So I love to listen to Reba McEntire. Who else do I like to listen to? I love to listen to Luke Bryan. First of all, let's talk about Luke Bryan. Luke Bryan, I could literally drink that man's bathwater. He is so gorgeous. Yes, I have a man crush. It's Man Crush Tuesday, okay? I know they usually say it's Man Crush Monday, but this podcast airs on Tuesday, so we're gonna move Man Crush Monday to Man Crush Tuesday. So Luke Bryan is so gorgeous. I love him so much. He has a lot of my favorite songs. Is it Rain is a good thing or Corn is a good thing or something like that? And then Shake It For Me, Girl. Okay, I said I wasn't gonna sing, but apparently I am. So he has a song called Shake It For Me. Uh I'm gonna love you right. I may just be saying lyrics. I don't know if they're the titles of the songs. But I love Luke Bryan. And yes, I have a major man crush on you, Luke Bryan, on this Man Crush Tuesday. So Luke Bryan, Reba McEntire, I love also Shania Twain. I love listening to Shania Twain. I listen to her often. You guys, she has a new song called My Boots My Boots Don't or something like that. Or maybe that's just a line of the song. But go on your streaming service and just say play the latest song by Shania Twain. Um it is an awesome song. Her music is always upbeat, or you could make love to her music. I haven't had the opportunity to make love to anyone in a while, so I don't know what it's like to make love to Shania Twain or her music. Let's put it that way. I don't know what it's like to make love to Shania Twain or Shania Twain music. But that doesn't mean I wouldn't want to find out. Shania, look me up. Anyway, um, so I love listening to Reba McEntire, Luke Bryan, Shania Twain. So if that doesn't tell you anything, I'm a huge country music fan. I love country music, but I'm also a huge Southern gospel fan. Uh, Bill Gaither, the Gaither Vocal Band, the Collinsworth family, just all of the Southern gospel greats, Linda Tate Randall, all that stuff. I even do like a little bit of the Newsboys. Sorry, I'm having a little bit more of a cough. I like a little bit more of the Newsboys, which Michael Tate is a part of the Newsboys, which is also Linda Tate Randall's brother, because obviously it's Linda Tate, and then she's married, and her last name's Randall. Duh, that's how it works. So music is a big part of my life, and music has really been therapy for me for everything that I've had to go through. What else is there to know about me? I don't want to bore you guys. I have five brothers, no sisters. I know what you're thinking right now. Six boys? Oh my God, your poor mom. Yeah, that's what everybody says. Okay. Okay, can we get over it now? Uh, and out of those five boys, I'm also a twin. Now, before you freak out and say, "Oh my God, you're a twin? That's so awesome." It's not all it's cracked up to be. I'm the older one, I'm the more handsome one, I'm the more outgoing one, and I'm the less weird one of the two, okay? All right. Because we're all a little bit weird, but there are some people that are weirder than others. And my twin brother just happens to be in the weirder than other category. Um, so yes, I have a twin brother. No, we don't feel each other's pain unless we're right there causing each other pain. And if you're a twin out there who feels your twin's pain when you're 10 miles away, goody for you. Okay. Um, I, I Good. I'm glad. And for those of you who are out there, Lark, that are like, you don't have a good relationship with your friend? Oh my God, that's so sad. No, it's not. We're just not as close as some other twins are. In fact, in Twinsburg, Ohio, there is a festival every year. Why somebody decided to get together and have a bunch of twins come together and have a big festival around it, I will never understand. To me, that's just weird. I don't ever want to go to that thing. My mom has always been like, "Oh, wouldn't that be cool to go?" I'm like, "No, that would not be cool to go." In fact, the reason why I found out about the Twin Festival in Twinsburg, Ohio, is because I was watching a documentary on twins on the OWN network several years ago. For those of you who don't know what OWN is, it is the Oprah Winfrey Network. And uh, they did a documentary on twins for whatever reason. And so they went to the Twin Festival in Twinsburg, Ohio, and they met up with these twins that had these twin girls that were sisters that had wedding rings for each other that said sis on them. Now, if they just happen to listen to this podcast, girls, I'm glad you love each other that much. I really am. But if you're sisters and you have wedding rings for each other and you're twins, that's a little sus. I gotta tell you, and that's a little weird. There were twins featured in that special. I believe Lisa Ling hosted it several years ago for OWN. And there were twins featured in that special that were like me and my twin brother. They weren't very close. They were, they didn't have to be right up on each other. They didn't have to move into each other's houses and marry a twin and all this type of stuff. And no, yeah. So, I have a twin brother, but it's not really all that's cracked up to be, honestly. It's not. Anyway, so what else is there about me that I feel you should know? Oh, I love to laugh, and I'm sorry that I'm not giving you a bunch of laughter today. Or maybe I will. A lot of people would ask me when I used to go trick-or-treating, they said, Nick, what did you go as for trick-or-treat? And I would always say to them, well, I went as a kid in a wheelchair. Well, I can't say that anymore. But this year I went to a Halloween party, and you want to know what I went as? Do you want to know? I went as a crippled on welfare. Don't you love that? A crippled on welfare. That's what I went as for this Halloween, as a crippled on welfare. And I went to a Halloween party, and they had a bunch of cool music there, not a lot of food. Listen, if you're gonna have a party, please just don't have snack food. Have like real food, and don't be all like, oh, we're just gonna have snack food and keep it small. If you're gonna keep it small, please don't have a party at all. Okay? Because when I come to a party, I expect to eat well. And this Halloween party, even though the music was kicking and it was really good, the food choices sucked. So, if you were in charge of the Halloween party this past week that I went to, the music was good, but the food sucked. So please don't make that mistake again. And I was very glad to be there as a crippled on welfare. Um, so yeah, I love I love to party, I love to laugh, I love to have a good time. Um, what else should somebody know about me that's not really connected to my disability? I think people should know that I'm a good friend. I'm a really good friend. I take friendship very seriously. I love hard, and if people could sum up my life in one word, I think it would be connection. Because I just love to connect with people, and I love to be around people. Yes, I enjoy my time alone too, but to be honest with you, I've been alone too much. That's one of the reasons why I started this podcast and why I'm wanting to expand my public speaking career, because I just want to get out there and I just want to be with people. And if you have a friend, if Nicholas Comstock considers you a real good friend, just know that you have a friend that is going to be there for you no matter what. I may blow up your phone a little too much. I may want a little too much of your time, but I will be the best friend that you ever have. And nobody will be able to say about me that Nick Comstock was a terrible friend. They can say it, but it for damn sure won't be true. I can tell you that right now. Um, I'm a good friend, and I like to be around people as much as I can. I love to go out to eat. Some of my favorite restaurants to go sit down and eat at are my favorite restaurant to go sit down and eat at, period, is Texas Roadhouse. I go there every year for my birthday. This year I didn't make it though because I broke my foot 3 days after my birthday. Um, but I did go later in the year, and I have to tell you, for some reason, when I went to Texas Roadhouse this time a few months ago, it wasn't very good. I don't know why, but it just wasn't. But I love Texas Roadhouse on any day. Just because they have one bad day doesn't mean I'm not gonna go back. I'll always go back to Texas Roadhouse. So Texas Roadhouse is my favorite restaurant. I love to go to Applebee's. I have a funny story about Applebee's. So when I was 21 years of age, instead of going out and getting drunk, I got intoxicated on food. And I ate $50 worth of food at Applebee's and probably ate way too much Applebee's. There's no probably about it because what I'm about to tell you says that it was way too much. I ate way too much of I ate way too much food at Applebee's and I threw up everywhere in the restaurant and wasted my good friend wasted my good friend's $50. Threw it right back up, said, "Bleh, there you go, I don't care." Um, so yeah, I didn't want to go eat at Applebee's for a while after that. But I love it now and I don't eat as much when I go to Applebee's. Just so I don't throw up. But yeah, so I love Texas Roadhouse, Applebee's, and what else do I like? Oh, I do love Chili's, but I don't have anything in particular that I love at Chili's. And I love a good Mexican restaurant. A good Mexican restaurant that I love is On the Border. On the Border Mexican restaurant is good. Although this last time I went, the service was really bad. It sucked. Um, and I know I'm mentioning these restaurant names, but don't see me. Okay. Just I restaurants have bad days and good days. And just so happens that eating out these days aren't as good as it used to be. So anyway, on the border Mexican restaurant, Chili's, Applebee's, Texas Roadhouse. Oh, and what else do I love? This Christian, I'm not much of an alcohol drinker, and people freak out about Christians drinking alcohol. Okay, I'm not going to get in a whole debate about it, whatever. But I do. This born again Christian loves me a good pina colada. Yes, I do. I do love me a good pina colada. Do you like pina colada? Getting caught in the rain, making love at midnight. I probably shouldn't sing because it's probably a copyright thing. I don't know. But yes, no, I don't like getting caught in the rain. But yes, I do like making love at midnight because that's hot. So that I do love. But I do love me a good pina colada with um pineapple on top, and some people like salt around the rim, but I don't like salt around the rim. I like sugar. So sugar, sugar, honey, honey. I'm probably gonna get so many copyright violations. I hope not. But anyway, but yeah, so I love me a good pina colada. What else? I'm a good friend. Oh, my social media name is well, I call myself on social media. Everything on social media is Nick Speaks or Nicholas Comstock. But I call myself Nickalicious. So yeah, Nickalicious. And people have actually caught on to that and started calling me Nickalicious. You say, why do you call yourself Nickalicious? Because I'm delicious. So Nickalicious. Yeah. So anyway, I don't want to talk your guys' ear off. I hope you enjoyed getting to know me a little bit today outside of my disability. Um, but what's one more thing I can tell you? I can tell you that, oh, this really surprises a lot of people. I'm not a sports fan. I do not like sports. I live here in Columbus, Ohio. I am not a big Ohio State fan. I know everybody's mouth to just hit the floor. Oh my God, you don't like Ohio State? Um, yeah, I'm not a big Ohio State fan at all. Not a big sports fan at all. I just don't like it. Now, I will go to a sports event to sit there and talk to my friends and eat food, but I'm not a big sports fan. And I don't like eggs. grotesque eggs. I cannot stand them. So, yeah. Anyway, I hope you really enjoyed getting to know me outside of my disability today. And I would encourage you to get to know somebody with a disability. But you know what? Don't ask them about their disability. Ask them what they like to do. Ask them what makes them tick. Ask them what their dreams are for their life. Ask them if they have anybody special. Ask them if they're getting any of the good love. You know what I mean? No, don't ask them that. That's an inappropriate question. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Don't ask them if they're getting any of the good love because it would violate one of the inappropriate questions that I told you not to ask if you were to ask if they're getting good love. So don't ask that question. Anyway, so yeah, guys, just get to know someone outside of their disability because we're so much more than that. And so I just wanted to give this opportunity for you to get to know me outside of my disability and tell you some of the things that I like and just share my heart with you. So I really hope you enjoyed this episode today of Nick Speaks. A couple house notes before I let you go. Remember, if you want to contact me to either be a guest on Nick Speaks or just reach out and tell me how you enjoy the show, my email is nickspeaksofficial@gmail.com. Nickspeaksofficial@gmail.com. You can also subscribe to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. And you can also watch this on my YouTube channel at Nicholas Comstock. And if you want me to come speak at your speaking engagement or your next event, whether it has anything to do with the disability community or not, you can reach out to me at the same email with the subject title Speaking Request at nickspeaksofficial@gmail.com. Use the subject title speaking request when you want to invite me for a speaking engagement. Okay, guys, I hope that you've enjoyed this podcast today, and I hope that you will continue to listen, follow, and rate and share this podcast with your friends. And I will see you on the next episode of Nick Speaks, the podcast dedicated to giving the disabled community a voice, where we speak up, speak out, and speak loud. Bye bye.